So a question has come to me, and in contemplating this question, I realize that it is actually a universal question, and it applies to many of us. It's a simple question, and it's really about, when we look at the world around us today, what we see is a world that appears to be in decay. So when we look at things, our leaders are not really, for the most part, are not really working together very cooperatively. The earth is paying the price. Our creatures are paying the price. The message isn't being taken seriously enough. All these things, when you look at the outer world, where there are wars and all these kind of things. And maybe it's always been a bit like that whenever we look at our world and we look at the outer world and we see these massive difficulties. And in fact, at one level, our world is in a better shape than it ever has been. But on another level, it seems to also be in decline. Those of us who are sensitive and are looking at it through eyes of clarity realize that we cannot continue like this. It's unsustainable. We're heading towards a precipice. What can we do? That's the question. What can I do? Is there anything I can do? What's the most I can do? That's really the question. So I wanted to consider that question for a few minutes. What can I do? I think really what one has to understand is that there are two currents at work. There's the current that we see in the outer world, and there's the current that we see or experience in the inner world. And if you are only operating in the outer world, you don't even know about the inner current. For many people in the world, they don't even know what the inner world is. That there is an inner world, and that it is there are wisdom, there is truth inside human beings. There are things to be discovered. There's a whole inner journey. So, looking at the outer world can be depressing if that's where your focus is. So you have to balance that with the inner world and the inner work. And on the inner world, as a kind of contrapuntal force, it's going the opposite way. So in the inner world, there are huge opportunities. There is growth. There is expansion. There are possibilities opening up. There's evolution. And so in the outer world, there may seem like there's decay, and we're passing through to a threshold where we're going to move through some crisis. On the inner world, there's a different experience. There's this incredible light emerging. Now, if you're not meditating, or if you're not looking within, and if you're not experiencing the magic of the inner world, you're not going to really know what I'm talking about. But if you are, then you'll feel these currents of light. You'll feel the possibilities, maybe in a way that you never have before. Because this is the other side of what's happening. And so what we need to do is we need to strengthen that inner connection more and more. So out of that inner connection comes our clarity of what to do on the outside. We can't do it the other way around. We can't look at the problem, at all the kind of manifestations of the problem and try and deal with it from the manifestations. We have to go back right into the core. And the core is inside us. So if we go deep inside our being and we work there, we work at our own suffering, we work at transmuting what's inside us, if we work at improving our inner self-esteem, and we begin to rebuild our inner clarity, our wisdom, our love, our connection to compassion, then out of that will come clarity of now I know what to do on the outside, if anything. And that depends very much on what is our felt direction, what is our dharma, what is our alignment to the universal will, the divine will, some call it. And we have to feel that. But we can only feel that when we're connected on the inside. So that's the first answer that I have to the question of what can I do? Make those connections on the inside. Deepen them. Strengthen them. Do the inner work. Move through the transformation of your consciousness. Shift the low frequency victim patterns that are embedded inside you to a higher level so that your heart begins to open, you begin to trust, you begin to connect with universal wisdom. You begin to open your heart to others, you move into forgiveness, you move into deeper and deeper levels of detachment about the outer world because you start to sink into deep trust. And you realize that every single moment of life is taken care of, but not by you, by the whole. And that there is this incredible universal hand at work behind everything. And that hand does only what's good for the whole. That's all it knows. Even when things move into terrible crisis and strife and deep suffering and darkness, it is for the sake of the whole, in order that something can awaken through that darkness. Every one of us who's been into a dark hole and emerged knows the truth of this, because when you emerge, you bring diamonds. You bring diamonds out of that darkness, and those diamonds can be of great service to others and to the whole. So the question looks complex, the answer is simple. Keep doing this inner work, and out of that will emerge the perfect direction. You will come into touch with your Dharma, with your higher purpose, with the true direction in which you need to put your energies. So keep connecting inwardly. Keep making these bridges. Keep on with the work. And then the outer will begin to reflect to you what you are really here to do and how you can be of the greatest service to the whole. So keep the faith, keep working, keep persevering. And in time, things will become easier for you. And even if all hell is breaking loose in the world, on the outer planes, here, deep inside on the inner planes, deep clarity and deep peace will rule. And that, in time, will also be conveyed into the outside world, because that's what's coming. That's why, amidst these ashes, this phoenix is going to rise. It is rising. It's rising up. And it will bring a new world. It will bring a new earth. It will bring a new kind of human, a new way of being, a paradigm shift, a quantum leap. All these words that express where we are and what's coming, and we can anticipate this, many of us. So I bring this message of hope. It's more than hope. It's certainty. For me, it's certainty. It's for all of us, actually. If you go deep inside, you'll feel it. You'll feel it there. And you'll also feel your detachment about how it comes. Because how it comes is not in our hands. We have a few lines of script. We can do our best to deliver those lines. But the plot is not ours. We have the script. The plot is just unraveling in perfect timing, exactly as it's meant to. So, hope that is inspiring and useful.